Okay.
I wish I hadn't worn shorts. I'm sorry, you
No.
guys.
Dude, how hot is Busy Phillips, everybody? Hot and an activist and such a caring human being in general.
I just Amanda,
I know.
I just don't get it.
I know. You're turning 43 tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know, it
Wait,
feels
so
bad.
on the Kardashians this season, they said that 40s are like the best of your life, best sex, best this, but do you feel it yet?
Mm-hmm.
You're feeling it?
Mm-hmm.
Not just the sex, the everything.
No, but I mean, I think that the pandemic's been really weird. Like, I turned 40 in 2019, obviously. Jesus, Busy, they can do the math. And I had like the greatest birthday. And I literally was the hottest I've ever been. 40 into 41. Like
Hottest
my
year.
body, everything was like, this is it. And then like the pandemic everything just kept wearing on me. And then I just like at a certain point turned to rosé and cookies and was like, this is the new me. And like, I was like, so I loved like how strong I was. I was like, I worked out every day
you
without fail. And
Yeah.
I was like, just on it. Like,
Wait,
I
if
was
you
on
guys
it.
follow Busy Phillips, which we didn't even get to introduce you properly, but if you couldn't tell already who's on the podcast today, but if you follow her and have been following her for years and don't know like the texture of her sweat,
Oh,
like
God.
drips by now, then you're not following her.
My tennis coach in LA, Gunnar, told me that the only person he's ever met that sweat more than me was this NFL quarterback that he used to teach tennis to. And I was like, Gunnar, that's not
Oh, Gunnar,
not fine.
yeah.
Not Gunnar Peterson.
Oh, okay.
No, not the famous Gunnar.
Different Gunnar.
A different Gunnar.
Wait, so I thought you were sweating so much in those videos because the workout was so intense, but you're a sweater in general?
I sweat. I'm constantly
Really?
sweating. Yes.
So you're not that girl that's like, I'm so cold.
I've never been cold a day in my life. No, I'm so hot.
I started this thing on my Instagram a while ago, and like still, it's like kind of an inside joke, and the girls who get it, but I would make fun of myself about that, and because I'm not, skinny, and I'd just be like, I'm so cold, like, because skinny girls get cold. You know what I mean? And we'll be like, babe, turn off the air conditioning. I'm like, babe, turn it on. Why is it off? Put on 68, So the girls that get it. And sometimes don't you feel, though, does part of you wish you could be cold?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Of course. Like, you know what I was doing for a while in LA?
Did you turn off the AC? I'm like, literally, the cab drivers, they're comfortable. The cab drivers are comfortable driving all day with long shirts, long sweatshirts. And I'm like, could you turn on the AC? I'm sweating.
But here's what I'm going to say. Wait, look. I carry.
No, I'm dying. Shit. I can't.
You guys, I carry this with me.
No, I can't.
Yeah, I carry it. Because you never know. And I'm so sick of people telling me that it's perimenopausal because I'm like, since I was a child, I have been sweating. I'm not kidding.
Maybe that's how you have good skin. Maybe you're always moistened.
I think that's possible. I actually think that's possible. I also think, just busting myths here, that pregnancy glow is just a sheen of sweat.
Wait, did you feel more glowy in pregnancy? Were you sweating more?
I know I sweat.
But do you get sweat stains? Because that sucks.
No.
Okay, good.
But I also don't smell. That's amazing. And it is amazing.
I mean, I don't either, but you could tell because we're so, hot. So people that are hot don't smell.
But my 13, almost 14-year-old kid, Birdie, also runs really hot.
Does she smell?
Birdie.
I'm sorry.
They. It's okay. Birdie's pronouns are fluid now.
Okay.
They're like they, them,
I
she,
heard
her.
you said, I heard you said, do they prefer they or?
I think so.
Or both?
I think it's, I don't know. It's ever evolving.
I heard you talk about it and you were, which is so great of you to admit this, that it's like hard to even get it right. Like just what you're used to saying. But you were saying
it's really hard.
But your podcast, Busy's doing her best.
Busy Phillips is doing her best. Yeah.
And you're always trying to do your best, which I love that.
But like my kid is really skinny and never cold. I just want to say
gorgeous, by the way.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's busting myths. No, I'm just saying I know that. I'm just saying the vibe of being the girl who's like
Always
hot.
sweating. Yeah.
It's like annoying. Okay, but I just want to just introduce real quickly how I met Busy. It was about a week and a half ago when I got
I just realized I didn't
sanitize properly. When I got somehow, dragged on Jenny Molin's book tour, which who hasn't? Really anyone with 100+ followers on Instagram is on the book tour.
She's a promotional machine.
Shouldn't she have been in PR?
Yeah, I could have too. Jenny and I are very similar in that way.
Wow. Like I have never.
I had the best idea to promote her book, but it just, I had it too late.
What was it?
I wanted to do like an experiential, like an influencer experiential pop-up where like people could, with their, like they could enter to win, like to go be an influencer. And this pop-up, like, different like photo ops and like different brands that would give you free shit and stuff like that.
Oh my God, that would be cool. That would be cool.
I know.
I saw Dumois posted something about the book. I was like, who sent the tip?
What did they say? I don't know. I don't follow them.
Somebody.
Her, whatever her name is.
Yeah. Somebody sent something in. Could have been Jenny trying to promote the book. I don't know. Anyway, so we met at Jenny's launch dinner. Mm-hmm. And what's so humble about you is that when I introduced myself to you and you were like, I'm busy. I was like, I know. You're like, how'd you almost for a minute were like, have we met? And I was like, no, you're just Busy Phillips. I know who you are. Like, are you surprised?
It always, I think sometimes it still surprises me, like that people know who I am. And
well, I'm not going to pretend. People who pretend are like, oh, Busy. How do you say that?
I hate that.
But yeah, people do that though, right? Would you rather them be honest like I was? And I was like, you're Busy Phillips. I know you. What do you mean?
No, I love it.
And you're like, what's your name, Noah?
Well, I thought your name was Noah, and then it was hot. We loved it.
We loved it because I wear my Noah necklace, and I love that you thought that. I was like, you don't know who I am. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I did then once I knew not skinny but not fat.
I know.
Then I knew.
Stupid name. What can I do? I came up with it years ago.
You're my publicist's favorite. She was so excited that
really?
Yeah, my publicist was like, I cannot even believe it. This is so exciting to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. It makes me feel nice. It makes me feel bad because it's like you thinking my name is Noah. Publicist loves me. We're evened out. So, yeah. But it was funny that I posted that night. People were so excited. I was in the same room with you.
Really?
Like I posted my little place card.
Oh, right.
To be fancy. And I swear to God, I didn't notice that yours was right behind me. And people were like, oh, like they thought I was doing like it on purpose to be like, look who I'm sitting next to kind of vibe. I'm telling you.
That's cute.
I know. And then everyone was like, oh my God, I love her. I love her. What's she like in real life? Like busy, busy, busy. And that really brought me back to like, no. Oh my God, she's blushing. It brought me back to when I started following you on Instagram. You were one, this is how I look at it. Tell me if you agree and how you see it. Mm-hmm. You were one of kind of the first people to really like talk to camera.
Oh yeah, no, I literally started the whole thing. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I'll take ownership. Thank you.
No, like I don't take credit for a lot of shit.
People don't talk about it.
There was a New Yorker art profile of me back then, like in whenever that was. When was that? 2016, 2017 or something? When
stories became a thing?
Yeah, I think it was.
We got to fact check some shit.
No, I think it was 2016 or well, we can look up the New Yorker.
Yeah,
guys.
Well, I swear I didn't read it, but no. I just think that about you.
I actually really appreciate it because literally, you're right. No one ever remembers that or gives me credit. And also, like the whole landscape's changed and everyone's so different. But like everything is so different now, like influencing culture and, because when I started really doing Instagram in that way, I had a lot of actor friends, because I'm a legitimate actor.
Right. That's what I was going to say. You're not. So here's the difference. You're not like your first business wasn't Instagram. You're an actress.
Wild, though, sometimes people
think you're from Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe they're not like our gen.
Yeah, they're younger.
They're younger.
Yeah.
And we like
I'm like, ugh, she's like an Instagram mom.
yeah.
Like,
This mommy blogger. And we all know you and love you from Freaks and Geeks, Dawson's Creek, obviously. Those are the OGs. Like, how old were you then when you did Dawson's Creek? Or Freaks and Geeks?
Freaks and Geeks, I was 19 and 20.
And
it was
20.
I started when I was 19, turned 20.
And then
Dawson's Creek was actually, I was 21, 22. No, I just turned 22 when I started it. And then I was 23. It was September 2017.
So 20 years ago, babe. That makes sense that these Gen Zers aren't aware.
I know, but like they've watched White Chicks. I know. Because everyone's watched White Chicks.
I know. I can't believe that.
That was 18 years ago. 18 years ago.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's like my Zoloft every time.
I love
it. Interviews always happens to me.
No, wait, I just looked up the
how did they describe it, the New Yorker?
How Busy Phillips became the breakout star of Instagram stories.
Oh, whoops. Sorry about that, you guys. Just,
Frustrated with her career in Hollywood, the actor turned her life into a sitcom.
Oh my God.
Every social media platform has an early adopter who defines its potential. For Instagram stories, the actor Busy Phillips fills
Oh my God, Busy. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in your bio.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Activist and how did they put it? Early adapter.
Yeah.
An early
adopter.
You paved the way for me, babe. I didn't even realize you paved the way for me.
Defines the potential.
Okay, so first of all, as I know now, and most of your followers and podcast listeners know, you moved to the city like a year ago?
September 2020.
September 2020. And have recently announced that you and your husband have separated. But you've separated a year ago.
Yeah, it was over a year ago.
Over a year ago.
February of last year. Yeah.
And one of the things you said was that the reason why you're saying it now was mostly because it was so weird for you to think about like posting a breakup post.
Yeah, that was like hard for both of us to conceptualize.
Yeah. Like a Bachelor Nation.
Well, I also just feel like I'm exhausted by the shoulds, or that, I don't know. It just feels like people sometimes do things that maybe aren't even what's right for them, but because they feel like they should, like it is with heaviness in our hearts and so much love and gratitude that Mark and I announce and we respect each other and we will continue to co-parent.
Yeah.
Can you please respect our privacy at this time and our children? And it's like, so gross. Like, I just think everything has become a little bit of like,
a lie,
a parody of itself.
Yeah, right. And like so, also, but I will say this because maybe you're really self-aware, like I am.
Yeah.
Like so, you think that, but the people that are posting it, they don't think it's a parody. Is what I'm saying. Okay. And since we have to do this in fucking speed, how are you and Mark now? Are you friends? Are you getting along? Are you cool?
I mean, look, here's the thing: like separation with a partner. Especially after so long.
Was it like 17 years?
We've been together for, I think, that's right. You do your research.
Yeah.
Is complicated.
Yeah.
But the process, I will say, was really, really long. And like we've been in therapy for a long time. And speaking of Gwyneth Paltrow, I think back to all the shame, or like the fun that was made of her and Chris Martin when they announced the conscious uncoupling. But the more work Mark and I did in therapy and the more we really considered what was working in our relationship as opposed to what wasn't working and how we wanted to move forward in our lives, like I think that there's something really powerful about people reframing how they see breakups. Like abuse is its own thing. And like I'm not talking about that, but I don't think, all love and relationships evolve. And so like, if you're willing to sit with it, and we both had to sit in some uncomfortable spaces. But I'm glad that we waited so long because we were able to do that like truly privately. Yeah. And our kids were as well, but I just like, I really think that so much of our ideas about marriage and breakups and divorce and stuff like can be reconsidered. And I think that, everybody, it's not so crazy, the idea
But did
of,
you have
conscious uncoupling.
Right. Did you have, though, in your head, like an ideal of the guy I marry is going to be the guy and the guy I have kids with, I'm going to be with him for the rest of my life?
Oh, for sure. I mean, my parents are still married.
Yeah.
They've been married like 55 years or something. Insane.
Yeah.
Oh, 56 years? Yeah. So my parents are still married, and Mark's parents are still married. And yeah, I definitely thought that. But I also am a person who, I don't know, I just don't want to be stuck in binary thinking about anything.
Yeah.
And I think that culturally we've gotten really stuck in thinking about all kinds of things in a very black or white way.
Right.
And there's so much gray area, especially when it comes to relationships. I mean, just the fact of the matter is, like, people live longer now. Like, people change so much. Like, parenting changes you. I was like 20.
Oh, parenting changes you. And the minute the kids come in, it's like even the strongest couples, will take a hit. Even the strongest couples that, have never had a fight in their lives or whatever. Like, even kids change everything.
Anytime I see a divorce announcement or hear of friends or whatever who are getting divorced and they have children that are under the age of 5, I'm like, yeah, no shit. Obviously, it's really hard. I mean, it does seem like Mark and I have spent years and years in therapy before we came to this conclusion.
Yeah.
And like, we did so much work in so many ways, which is why this part now is possible.
Right.
Like, I get it when people are like, I can't even stand him. I just have to get away. But it's like, I was there like 6 years ago. I wrote about it in my book. But then we moved through that space.
Yeah.
And then we moved into other spaces and we like really started pulling apart things and like really looking at, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
But we're good. Like, we're very, I'm so grateful that he's who I married and had kids with.
And had kids with.
Yeah.
And are you open to dating?
Sure.
She's living life. Wait, so you're living in New York now, and in general, I wanted to ask you, are you feeling it? Like, do you like it? Do you miss LA? But LA is hot too.
LA, you're in your car and air
You're
conditioning.
right. You're not walking around.
I'm not walking.
Right, you're not walking.
First of all, I have no Carrie Bradshaw fed me a fucking lie. All of my cute shoes are just like sitting.
No. You have to wear sneakers. You have to wear sneakers.
Yeah. And these sandals are questionable. I thought I was going to be in a car, but like the only reason I'm okay with these in the streets is because there's a little bit of a platform. So I'm like, my feet aren't like in the dirt.
And you're in New York because of Girls 5 Eva. You stayed because of Girls 5 Eva.
Well, right. We shoot the show during the school year.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the kids into school here, and it just didn't make sense to try to be bi-coastal during the school year. It's too hard. It's too hard for me.
Right.
To see.
Do the kids like it here?
Yes. And that's the other thing. I actually think a break from LA has been good for everybody in a lot of ways. Like, the industry in LA.
But you think you're going to go back?
Well, I love LA because I'm like really West Coast.
Yeah.
But also all of my friends, I lived there for like 23 years. Like I went to college there. I moved there right when I graduated from high school at 17.
Wow.
So I have friends there that are like,
Do you have FOMO then being here a little bit?
No, because you know what? The algorithm just does not show any of my friends from LA. I'm not kidding. So I like rarely even see them hanging out. Like, okay.
So the other thing about you that's not LA, and I told you this when we met, is like you don't have Botox.
I don't.
You don't have any of that stuff.
No.
You have a real face.
No Botox, no filler.
Which, like, no hate to anybody that's getting Botox and fillers.
No judgment.
No judgment.
I have no judgment.
I'm even considering it, and I've actually judged in the past just when, it's when I've seen it being overdone and on 23-year-olds.
I was going to say, I get disappointed when like very young women start to fuck with their faces, because I will say this, like
at 23, you don't need preventative.
No, but here's the other thing too. and people have like actually accused me of work. My face, because I've been on camera since I was 19 years old. My face as a teenager and my face today is totally different because having children, the hormones, like losing and gaining weight, like working out structurally, I can't even explain to you like how different I look now.
So people thought you got stuff done.
But my only point is like 23-year-olds calm down.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole
Like your face will change anyway.
your face is going to
No,
change.
like for me, like I swear to God, you guys, like people think I have cheekbones now. And like, not that I got it done, but like, oh, chiseled. And I think it's aging. I think like my face is drooping.
Well, it's not drooping, but like you lose the baby
like
fat.
my face is skinnier now just because I got older.
No, and post children. Post baby is like the hormonal shift, and then breastfeed. Did you breast? Are you still breastfeeding?
Still, babe, yeah.
Yeah, that's why. You're
Stay,
like,
oh my God, I'm not going to stop. I'm stay chiseled. But I do love that. Do you feel like it's ever going to change for you? Or are you open because you're so fluid? Like, well, or is your...
yeah, I am like, again, like my rules in life are just that
There are no rules. Oh my God.
No, but like, no,
she's that girl.
Is that my Real Housewives thing?
Wait, would you?
The only rule in life is that there are no rules.
Wait, imagine you get offered to be on New York City Housewives.
My old assistant Raymond was trying to convince me that should be my next move. No fucking way. First of all, I like
maybe in 10 years if you're in New York.
No, but you know what's really funny is that I went to the Christian Siriano show last fall. I love him so much. And
he was on Project Runway, right?
Yeah, but he's just great. And like, he's been a designer that's been committed to inclusivity and size and gender and everything, like since the like long before it was trendy.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting with this woman, and then I went to this dinner after, and she was like a fucking riot. And I'm like, oh my God, like, are you my new best friend in New York? I don't really have friends. The world's opening up again. Like, I want to be friends with this girl. It was Leah Mob.
Shut the fuck up. She was just on my podcast recently.
Well, I thought we were best friends for
and
then nothing. I should never talk to her again.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I was like, I probably drank too much rosé for her because she's in recovery.
Oh yeah, she's sober.
I get it. I'm here for a sober journey.
Yeah,
that was not my journey that night, and so I think maybe I tanked it.
I did want to just for a minute talk about Busy Tonight. I started when we started talking on the podcast. About how you, I mean, were the first to really take stories to that level. And do you think though, because I remember at the time I was so happy for you as a fellow, even the way I felt at the time was like, she's doing on Instagram kind of like what I'm like the way I'm speaking to my audience. I was like, had no followers at the time, but it was an inspiration, aside from the fact that I knew you as an actress, that in my belief, the reason you got Busy Tonight was more based on that part of you than 100%. The actress part of you.
Oh my God, no, it changed my career.
Yeah.
The Instagram stuff changed everything for me.
Really?
Yeah. 100%.
That's wild. So that's
why I
like
got my book deal. It's how I got the talk show. Yeah.
Wild.
It was like, it was a real game changer.
So when it didn't get renewed or got canceled, did the podcast come out of that? Like, okay, I can't speak here. You're not giving me this platform.
Yeah, sort of. I mean,
And how angry are we still about it?
I mean, at this point, I'm just like, I don't know. I can't even be angry about anything other than the fact that 12-year-olds in foster care are being forced to carry babies that they have inside of them because they were raped. Just think about that for a minute. So I don't really care about my podcast. I mean,
your show,
my late night talk show anymore. But
at the time,
I was pissed.
And your daughter wrote.
Oh, it was the funniest thing.
Wrote. Did the letter get to?
Well, I mean, sure, I posted it.
Oh,
but
right.
I also am like a little bit of like a, obviously, I'm a little bit of like a, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
which is gutsy because other people would try to
be cool.
Be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I think there are people that do not like me in this industry. And like, I think executives think I'm like an eye roll, like they're not on board. But I guess I think that they're all fucking dinosaurs and that the landscape of this industry is changing and that really it's the fans that get to decide and dictate now. You look at like a situation like what happened.
And they're all trying to keep up too. You see it.
They're not doing a good job.
They're not, but I see it with networks, and I'm not going to name like specific ones, but I see it with networks and I see it with, that they're like, oh, this is what the people like, so we'll try to give them that. But they're like 7 months late and it's already changed and the people like something else.
I just think that the move in the future is going to be sort of like direct to your people entertainment. And I hope that it like becomes, I hope that it's able to become more high quality and like, I don't know. It's hard to crack a system that's like been in place for so long, but it's not a great system. It actually kind of sucks. And there are so many people that are just like justifying their paychecks in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, your industry is wild.
It's wild.
Like people think, for example, like if there's a Deadline article that says, that the show's been picked up or that something, that it's like, oh, okay, we're going to see this show on TV. And 5 times out of 10 or 6 times out of 10, it's not going to make it to the next. We just don't know those steps as normies.
Right.
But like there's so many steps.
And it's like exhausting because it's been run mostly by like old white men for so long. And, what they want to watch is like maybe not what we all want to watch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the podcast happened though because Casey and I were working, my showrunner from Busy Tonight, and I had gotten a few offers to like move the show to different places. Like there was like a streaming service that was launching and blah, blah, blah. And I just had this moment of like, I can't keep doing this, like moving to where some fucking old white man is going to decide what my success is or isn't based on whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there was so much information that we didn't know about like what was happening financially for the network and all of these things. Like they just didn't tell us anything. So then we were doing well culturally. We were super successful. We were like really more than like a lot of late night shows, like pretty consistently in like all of the gossip magazines and shit. And, but there are things that like, you can't control, like a $40 million hole in a network's budget that they're like, I don't know, trying to figure out. So anyway, so I had said to Casey, like, I know it would be nice to take this money, but can we just not and try to do our own thing? So we were building our own thing and we were doing a podcast to go along with it. And then the pandemic happened. And then it was just a really hard time. And I was like trying to teach first grade and like whatever. So we paused it all. And then a couple months later, because we had like signed a deal with a small podcast company, we took it back and we do it ourselves now. Like we're totally self-produced and self-put out.
With the show, still with the showrunner.
Yeah, with Casey. She's my like co-host. Yeah.
Oh,
cool. But we sort of just changed the concept of the podcast to like having to pivot in your life because that's what keeps happening. Like we have to keep shifting and trying to figure out like what's next.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've had some really great people who come on and tell us stories about like, oh yeah, I thought I was going to be this person and I'm this person instead. Whatever. I don't know. I really like it.
Is it a weekly podcast?
It's weekly, but it's really long. It's long form.
It's long form.
It's long form.
Yeah. What's like, really long? Like 2 hours?
It's over 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes it's 3.
Oh, my God.
I know. It's intense. But people who love it, fucking love. I mean,
I feel like it sounds like armchair expert vibes.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Maybe.
Have you listened? I remember that was one of my first podcasts.
I was on it.
I know.
People, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't really listen to it.
I know. It's hard. It's hard once, especially you have a podcast, to listen to podcasts, and especially doing so many things that you're doing. So now are you on a shooting break from Girls 5 Eva until September?
Mm-hmm. late October, I think.
And the show is doing amazing.
It's really great. People please keep watching it because
on Peacock, babes.
Like, it's
of course it matters.
Well, it does matter. It matters for the 3 months after it comes out, I guess, in streaming. See, that's the other thing. It's like these algorithms. Like, you're just like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can't control it, so you just have to kind of like let it go.
One of my best friends works on
unless you're Jenny like, I don't know, do a publicity tour. Maybe you should send PR boxes. Tell Tina.
I don't know.
The other thing that's funny is when you told me when we met at the dinner and you were telling me that, you're like, and then Tina called me, blah, blah. And I'm like, Tina, and I'm like listening to the story. It took me like 15 minutes to realize you're talking about Tina Fey.
Oh, God, that's so gross, though. I'm so sorry.
You're so Hollywood.
So Hollywood. But also, I hate it when people do that. I hate it when people use a first name and not a last name, like assuming that you know. I have a friend like that who's always like, well, and then Karen came in and was like, I'm like, and you never want to ask.
Yeah, you never want to ask, but I asked.
Okay,
but I asked.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I did that. That's weird, but it's also true.
Wait, and another really important thing, because I feel like my followers will care about this. Your friendship with Michelle Williams, the most as opposed to you, she's like super mysterious.
I mean, she's not to me.
Oh, she's not to you. I'm saying, but to the public. Because you're not an open book, but the way you are on Instagram, people do feel part of your life more so. And of her, I think I just posted about her. I was like, you guys, do you know that Michelle is like married to a new guy? Is like nobody knew. Like she keeps it pretty tight.
Yeah. Right. That article, she was on the cover of Variety or something.
There was something, and she's pregnant. And people were like, hello. And then we kind of had to backtrack.
Oh yeah, she has
and
baby.
And she has a baby now.
No, she has this is their second.
Their second baby, right.
The pandemic's been great for people who want to be private.
Literally.
But same with me and Mark. I was like, oh, thank God for the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're always so sweet with her when you do like Instagram posts.
Oh, I love her. But here's the thing with Em. Like, I think that her desire to like not be super out there publicly is just very genuine and comes from a place of like being on Dawson's Creek when she was really young, feeling way overexposed at a vulnerable time in her life, and not wanting to focus on that. And like, so the
producer just left us. He gave up.
He was done. I kind of like don't blame him, but
I wonder who he hates more. I vote you. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Like who? Me?
He also doesn't understand. I mean,
do you have kids, Dave?
He doesn't
I'm just
know
kidding.
Because
but
also, I don't know because I just like do my own podcast.
I don't know, but let's just sit here
in my living room
because like look how cute we look. He says
the bag
it's not
to ruin for the cellulite vibes. Yeah,
I do it but okay, you do it from home. I know it's such a hard thing because I feel like right now my office isn't set up for a guest, but I could change it. And like podcast studios are annoying. I know it's just a thing. And Zoom, you're right. Zoom isn't it. But today, as much as I loved seeing you, wouldn't you rather be at your home?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why sometimes Zoom.
I almost texted you.
If you did that to me today, Busy Phillips, I swear to fucking God.
Yeah, I swear to God, I've been on the phone with like all these fucking organizations and shit this morning already, and I'm not even kidding you.
You were like, I have this fucking girls podcast.
No, I was like, I'm going to this podcast, and everyone's like, you're a warrior. Oh my God. And I was like, you know what? I am.
Okay.
We got to be able to hold both.
I know. And I did merch recently. It was called "You Could Still Be a Mom and Be a Dumb Bitch," and it's kind of on that notion that you can be,
by the way, you don't have to know everything to know.
Well, you know a lot though.
No, I know,
like you're a little intimidated with your knowledge. You people behind the screen.
You don't have to know everything to know that like what other people are doing with their bodies doesn't involve you or the government.
Yeah. Right. 100%.
It involves like a doctor.
Right.
That person. That's it.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
I love you. Thank you so much.
I'm my God. It's okay. I love you too. And I'm so glad we met.
Me too.
And everybody go check out Busy's podcast.
Yeah. Busy Phillips is doing her best.
Which she is.
And watch Girls Five Eva because I love it.
I know.
And I'm on Instagram, of course, and Twitter's a
Still?
trash fire.
Yeah. Are you on TikTok?
Well, no, because I made a deal with my kid that I wouldn't do it. Because Birdie was like, there's nothing more embarrassing than the moms that try to do the dances. And I was like, oof.
Yeah. It's not for you.
Oh, it's definitely not for her. But I also just like, it's not for me. I just don't get it.
No, it's not for you.
Mm-mm.
We're not on TikTok because we old and we're better on Instagram. So fuck it.
Yeah, I have my way of communication.
Yeah. It's not, I'll tell you what, this is why I related to you so much when I started following you back in 2016 or 17 when you were doing, do you think you were doing more then? Like, were you more on Instagram?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I've like way slowed it the fuck down. Yeah.
But then it was like, it was just that. You were just talking. It wasn't curated. It wasn't. And back then, people were very much. Okay, so this is what's happening today. People have understood that it's cooler that way, so they're trying, but it doesn't come across as naturally as it does when somebody just does it that way. Do you understand?
Yeah, but I think that piece of being self-aware that you had mentioned earlier is the key to a life.
It's key to life.
Yeah, but it's the key to everything. Like when people ask you, like, how do you do it? Like, no. I'm sure that you're like, well, I don't know. I just do it.
Right.
But part of why you're able to and the way that you are is because you're just very self-aware.
Yeah.
And self-awareness is a thing that has been lost by a lot of people.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, Busy, I love you. Thank you.
Too.
Keep
Tell
on doing your
producer I'm
best.
sorry.
Dave.